Lions TV, this is your 2024-25 squad assessment. I'm still expecting signings to come in. That's why I've held back until 4 p.m. on Monday to make this video. And obviously things will change, but I'm going to look at our current situation, the players we've got. Is that enough to take us forward into the new season? I think we all know the answer to that is no, but I'm going to look in this video at the players we've got, how I rate them, where I think they'll fit in this season, and what we need going forward. On that basis, it's going to be a long video, so I'm recording this on the laptop. It's just a lot easier. It saves my battery going. But I'm having a little bit of trouble with lighting. As you can see, like 2 lines there, which I can't really get rid of. I'll try and do the best I can in the edit, but the message will still come across, I hope. So yeah, let's get into it. The annual squad assessment 2024-25. Like I said, let's start with goalkeepers. Now, we've signed 5 players so far. Well, 4, and bringing back Sean Hutchinson, which was a great move, which I'll get onto in a little while. But 2 of the 4 that we signed are goalkeepers, and they are Lucas Jensen and Liam Roberts. Of course, this was following on from Bartosz Balkowski leaving the club, and then the tragic, which I still can't believe is true, that Matija Sarkic passed away in the summer. We're going to pay tribute to him on Saturday at the Den, and I know there's some artwork being created in the Cold Blow Lane, which will be unveiled before the game as well, I think. So looking forward to doing what we do best and paying tribute to one of our own. I just can't believe it. I still keep saying it, but genuinely still can't believe it's true. But obviously on the basis of Sarkic passing away and Balkowski leaving the club, we needed some new goalkeepers. It left only Connell Truman as the senior goalkeeper at the club, and he's not going to get anywhere near it. He's never been anywhere near it in his career. No disrespect to him. I'm not going to go on about him. But we know that even if now we've got Jensen and Roberts, and one of those was to get injured, I think it's going to be a Ryan Sanford scenario where they'll go out and get an emergency loan straight away. So Truman at the club, completely pointless, but he's obviously doing something. Maybe he's good for camaraderie around the dressing room. Who knows? But let's look first at Lucas Jensen. I think we got him for around 500 grand. He only missed out on being the Golden Glove winner in League One with Lincoln last season. And I think he's a really good goalkeeper. He's a big lump. He's a presence. He only had 1 season at Lincoln. Did a lot of his time in his younger years and his youth career at Burnley without ever really making the grade up there in Burnley. So, look, I think it's a good signing. He had a good first half on Saturday. And yes, he dropped one at the feet of Adam Armstrong for Southampton's winner on Saturday at the Den, but I just feel that he's going to be a good goalkeeper for us. Like I said, big presence, looked good with his feet, 2 imposing saves he made in that first half, and I'm putting it down to rustiness, you know, getting into the swing of things for that goal that he conceded. I don't want to moan about our goalkeepers. Believe me, I think some people think that I like to moan about our goalkeepers with previous ones that have been at the club, George Long, Jordan Archer, and to be honest, I can't hide from the fact that I didn't overly rate Matija Sarkic either. So for me, it's good news. He's still young, great age for a goalkeeper. Got him for around £500,000, and I think he will be the number 1. But like I've said in previous videos, moving on to Liam Roberts, I don't think that, and it seems to be an accepted thing at all clubs, goalkeepers, well, he's the number 1 and you're the backup. I don't like that. You know, they're both pros, both got good careers behind them so far, and both impressed in recent seasons. So in my opinion, you know, play who's the best player, play who's in form. And it will be good for both those goalkeepers to push each other onto bigger and better performances and bigger and better things. Liam Roberts has actually got the more experience out of the goalkeepers. Player of the Year last year at Barnsley. He was Golden Glove winner in League 2 seasons ago. Of course, he joined Millwall on a free transfer. Great bit of business for us. 29 is still not really old for a goalkeeper. And I think he'll push Jensen hard for that first team place. And it'll be good to see. Like I said, he's actually got the more experience, having played a substantial amount of games for Barnsley last season. Before Middlesbrough, the club he was at escapes me, but he did get the move to Middlesbrough, but would have found it difficult to get in front of Darren Randolph amongst other goalkeepers, I'm sure. So Truman will be number 3. I think for now, Roberts will be the number 2 behind Jensen. But as far as goalkeepers are concerned, I think we are definitely covered. Let's move on to the defenders. It's actually, I sent it to my mate earlier just to check that I haven't missed anyone out in the squad. And if I have, apologies, and I'm sure you'll let me know in the comments. But defenders-wise, that's the biggest block of players that we currently have. We've got 3 left-backs on the books. Nino Adamalaki, I'm absolutely devastated for him because it just proves that you don't just need talent in football. You need a bit of luck and to stay injury-free. And it didn't look like there was a lot in it in when he went off injured. He actually came on for Murray Wallace and already gone off injured. And Joe Bryan became the third left-back of the game against Mercia. But it didn't look like there was a lot in it. But he's done his ACL, so he's going to be out for the whole season more than likely, which is really, really sad for him and for us. I always bang on about the youth. They need the opportunity. They need the chance. And I do strongly believe that he might have got that this season, especially with Murray Wallace aging and not as strong as he once was. And with Joe Bryan being a little bit unfortunate with injuries now in his twilight years. So Adam Malaki is out the equation for the season, unfortunately. And that leaves Murray Wallace and Joe Bryan. Of course, Joe Bryan is the first choice. But like I said, with him, as good as he is, and with Ryan Leonard in a similar situation at right back, both very talented players, but both very injury prone. And I don't think Joe Bryan made it could be, again, corrected in the comments, but I don't think he sort of played 10 games in a row last season. He sort of played one, missed one, played one, missed three, played three, missed one. It was that sort of thing. And I think a player of his quality, no disrespect to our club, I think that's why we've got him when we've got him. If he was still fully fit and still fully firing, I don't think he will be at Millwall Football Club, unfortunately. That's the reality, in my opinion. That's pain me to say that, but let's be honest, it's probably the truth. One of the highest earners at the club, I definitely would imagine. And Joe Bryan will be the first choice left back, without a doubt, when the game starts this weekend. I'll do a preview, of course. That'll be out Wednesday for members, and that will be out Thursday for the public on YouTube. That leaves Murray Wallace as a left back backup / centre half backup. I don't think, he could have cut the mustard. It was hard for him to keep up to the level. I think his fitness and his endeavour and his strength, call him the robot, the machine, call him what you like, but the mountain. But I think that's what kept him at the level. And I think now he's getting older. I definitely don't think he'll be used as cover at centre back. But left back, I don't know, he'll do something really stupid. He'll put the old Adidas crowdfinders on money and scurf one out of play. And then in the next moment, like you saw against Nottingham Forest when he came off the bench, give a goal away, got nutmegged. And then in the last minute, he cuts inside on his left foot and it's a right-footed shot from 25 yards, like we've seen him do many times before, and nearly gets the equaliser. He is handy to have as a backup at left back. He will get roasted at points. We know that from quick and tricky right wingers. We've seen him exposed many times last season. So this season, again, with him getting older and the league getting stronger, I expect that to happen even more so. But I don't think you'll see much of him. He can come in off the bench and weigh in with a goal or two here and there, but he'll definitely be the backup for the left back, which will be Joe Bryan. But he is also out injured at the minute. So that leaves Danny McNamara. Now, Danny McNamara, for me, with Neil Harris coming back in, played his best football in a Millwall shirt. He had a really good start, didn't he, Danny McNamara, in his Millwall career. Of course, he went out on loan and actually made the grade at St Johnstone and then was brought back. And I think he made his first team appearance, first ever one. I think he's in a FA Cup match against Boreham Wood. I think, again, let me know in the comments if I've got that one right or wrong. And didn't Ken Zahor score that day as well? Wow, that's a blast from the past. But look, Danny McNamara struggles at right back. He struggled... Sorry, that's actually not right. He struggles at right wing back because that's not his game. He's an out-and-out defender, tenacious, typical Millwall player, Millwall fan, like we know, loves the club. And I do think you have to factor that in. I don't think he could play for anyone else. Ironically, he nearly went to QPR when he was flying. There was talk of him, and he went from being the hero to now being the zero. Billy Mitchell's been in that position with our fan base as well before. But like I said, since Neil Harris has come back, he's played at left back, and I think he's been absolutely brilliant. So for me, having Danny Mack as that cover for left or right back, which he will be, and I imagine he will start on a bench on Saturday, I'm happy with that. I don't know if he'll go out and get another left back with the time he got now before the season starts. I'm going to get onto another reason why in a minute. That I don't think that getting another left back has to be priority with our budget. I think we've done our bollocks, if I'm honest. I was trying to think of a better term, but I couldn't think of it. I think we've blown the budget on Tanganga. I know we didn't buy him, but I think his wage alone would have been similar to having to buy a player. And I think that's why since then we've pretty much seeked loans. I know we've bought Jensen for around 500 grand and Langstaff, which I'll get onto in a minute, for about around alleged 750. But look, Danny Mack will be covered at left back and right back for Joe Bryan and Ryan Leonard. He's definitely going to get game time if history is anything to go by. And the other right back I've just mentioned, Ryan Leonard, Player of the Year, just gets better and better. He once made a Lions TV all-time worst 11. Don't blame me for that. Blame yourself. Now, you can blame me a little bit. But, yeah, you all voted him in because he was that bad. And by his own admissions, he said, when I first came to the club, I wasn't at it at all. He had a dodgy spell at Sheffield United, hadn't he, where he got taken there from Southend, big money by Chris Wilder. Only played about 15 games for them. Didn't make the grade, and maybe his confidence was low. And as I say, there's a lot of players in our team, and across football, of course, it's no secret that confidence is a massive factor. But Lenny at right back under Neil Harris just goes from strength to strength to strength. He flew past someone down that right wing on Saturday, knocked it past them, old school. Knock it past the fullback and run past them and try and beat him. All this cutting back inside or flicks and tricks, no nonsense. No one get past him at the other end of the pitch, by the way. He's kept many a winger quiet last season, Jack Clark included, even though he did concede a penalty on Jack Clark against Sunderland. It was never a penalty, and he's kept many a player quiet. So Ryan Leonard will be first choice right back without doubt, with Joe Bryan at left back. And then, of course, as I said, Danny McNamara will be cover for both of those. Moving into the centre of defence. Now, I'm going to start with Wes Harding. Again, look, football is a fickle game. And it's one where if you're a painter and decorator or you're an electrician, you won't have Joe Public over your shoulder going, no, I don't know what we've done there, mate. If they're paying the bill, they probably will if you're fucking things up. But people like me, like you, we may know nothing, but we're entitled to pay our money. So once we've done that, we can go and have an opinion, and we'll go, he's shit, he's good, he's shit, he's good. Now, Wes Harding, I think, is the biggest victim of that because he came in on a Gary Rowett, he never played, and then eventually he got in, done really well. He did tail off under Joe Edwards, and he scored an own goal at home against Leicester, but we was on the back end of some hidings at that point. And I think he's got some unfair press. I was impressed with him again on Saturday against Southampton at the Den. I think there's nothing wrong with Wes Harding at all as cover for us. Don't forget now we've got 3 other centre-halves in front of him in the pecking order, but I think he knocks the occasional nice crossfield ball. He's got pace to burn, which not a lot of our other centre-backs do have, and he can weigh in with a goal. So for me, Wes Harding, centre-back, absolutely not a problem as cover. Then, of course, club captain Sean Hutchinson is probably not even worth discussing this. He knows what it's all about, Millwall. He's had some iconic moments at the club. He has been the mainstay and the core of that centre defence pairing with Cooper for many, many years. And that's now what sees us, 8 seasons back, I think this season, or 9, back in the Championship. He did leave the club at the end of the last season, which was a bit strange. But he's come back to the club now. And as I said, I definitely feel he's got something to offer on the pitch. Alex Pearce, remember, a similar situation. He got the extra year, and people were saying he's a glorified cheerleader. I don't think Hutch is. I think he's here to play, and I think he's here to fight for his place in the team. He said that, and I think he's going to be there or thereabouts this season. I do think as well, it might surprise a few of you, and you'll see him play a lot more than you may expect. He scored on Saturday again. He can weigh in with a goal, but he got disallowed. And don't forget, Japhet Tanganga is suspended for the opening 3 games of the season. So Hutchinson, for me, definitely worth bringing back. A very good signing, shall we say, acquisition at the club. As I said, he knows what it's all about. He's a club captain, but in my opinion, he can still do the business on the pitch. Jake Cooper, moving on to him now. For me, I like Coops. A lot of you give him shit, and maybe I'm wrong because a lot of you give him shit. A lot of people close to me as well. Kenny's one of them. Like to dig him out, think he's gone. And the funny thing I did see about Cooper when I did the warm-up on Saturday against Southampton, they got the little cones laid out and everyone was zigzagging through them. Cooper's clipped every cone and knocks them flying. And his feet ain't the quickest, but I just think he gets a bit of unfair press. And why is that? I don't know, because we've never really conceded a lot of goals. We've always been solid with him at the back. And I think, okay, he's a good leader on the pitch. I think what it is he stopped scoring goals, but I don't think that's his fault. I just think teams sussed us out, realised he was the threat from set pieces and long crosses, and you've seen them manhandling time after time, 3-4 players on him. So I think that's why he may have fell out of favour with our fan base. Subconsciously, people go, he don't score no more, he's shit. And he does get turned inside out sometimes. But as a whole, I think he's a great skipper on the pitch if Hutchinson isn't playing. And I still think he's definitely got something to offer to this football club. Moving on to our summer signing, Tanganga. I cannot say it normally now. I just can't. I have to say Tanganga every time. Suspended for the opening 3 games of the season. Big statement signing for us. The first that came through the door this summer. I will say, I don't think he's as good as you all think he is, but he's brilliant for us. I think Millwall is his peak, and I could be wrong. I was going to say I hope I'm wrong, but if I am wrong, then he could go on to bigger and better things. What is he, 24 years old? It's a big, bold statement signing, like I said, and I really, really like him. And I'm really pleased he came back to the club. I'm surprised he did. There was interest elsewhere from Ipswich. So for me, as far as I'm concerned, goalkeepers wise, we're sorted. Centre backs wise, Harding, Hutchinson, Cooper, Tanganga. Of course, people will get booked, sent off, suspended, injured. But for now, that 4, I've got no problem with it. You know, Hutchinson fighting it out, probably with Cooper to play alongside Tanganga, and then with Wes Harding as backup, and if need be, Murray Wallace, although I don't think that will happen, and I hope it doesn't happen. I think we're fine. Left back, Brian. Right back, Leonard, with Danny Mack covering whichever one of those is out injured. If they was to both be injured, which could be a strong possibility, then I don't know. Then you'd have to consider your options. But moving in to the midfield. Now, we've got some midfielders. It's hard to box people at this point, because back in the day, you go defenders, midfielders, strikers, goalkeepers. Now you go wingers, cams, you know, strikers, 10s, 9s, whatever. But central midfield-wise, you've got, in my opinion, and again, look, he'll probably play as a winger at points because we are very light in that area, which I'll get onto in a minute. George Honeyman. George Honeyman, I've covered this yesterday in a Jason Malumbi video, and that's why I was holding out today before doing this video. Knowing my luck, as I'm filming it, we'll probably announce it and the whole video will go to shit. But there you go. That's the life of YouTube, and you've got to roll with it. Honeyman, Saville, Denor, Mitchell, and Massey. They're all very similar. They're all very strong. They like to get stuck in. They know the Millwall way. They win the ball and they distribute it left or right to someone else who can hopefully do more with it. But they're all very, very similar. Alfie Massey, again, I don't know why the gaffer put him on for 4 minutes. You'll have to ask the gaffer, but that was pointless. And he's, like I said before in previous videos, he's made that transition. He's sort of skipped the 21s and he's come straight into the first team fold. He must be doing something right. He's getting on the pitch, he's getting minutes, and he's also getting a lot of good exposure from the Millwall media team, which is good. They're trying to push him. And I think he's got a bright future. I've not seen loads of him because I do watch a lot of 21s, not so much of the 18s. I've got a meeting at the club on Thursday, and I'm hoping to rectify that. But I won't go any further into that. But yeah, watch this space. But Massey will probably definitely benefit from a loan. If Malumbi comes in, I think you'll definitely see him go out on loan. But let's try and aim a bit higher with these loans. You know, don't send him out to National League South. Try to say, no, look, get him in League 2. Get him in League 1 might be a push for Massey at his age and with his experience, but you want him playing minutes, guaranteed minutes. It's very, very difficult for him now to go back into the 18s or the 21s and stay motivated or get a chance again in the first team. So Massey, get him out on loan. Honeyman, I think I started with and veered off like I do. Going back to him, he'll probably play on the wing at points because he can be defensive and tuck in and do them duties. He's a tough tackling, in reality, tough tackling central midfielder. Okay, that's endeavour and aggression and fitness gets him through at the level, in my opinion. You know, but again, he scored against us for Hull, didn't he, once? And you see all these players, you go, well, what they do is they win the ball and then they go and they play it sideways or backwards, simple. Now, are they all those types of players? Or is that the way we play? I don't know. It's a very difficult one. But Honeyman, yeah, look, he's, again, good for backup. He can play in a variety of areas. So I'm happy with him still in the squad. I do like him. He might come across sometimes that I don't. He's not overly blessed with talent. And that's just me being honest. I'm not digging him out because I do like him. He is a Millwall type player. Moving on to Casper Denor, I thought that he was signed to be the benchmark signing a couple of summers ago. I actually heard a rumour that he broke Zian Fleming's record of being the highest ever signing, but I don't know. It hasn't worked out for him. He didn't really get in under Neil Harris, did he, at the back end of the last season? But I thought he played well again on Saturday. But for me, he can knock those thread needle balls. He needs a run of games. He'll probably get that now. Obviously, with Mitchell being injured at the start of this season, we know that Savs and Billy are the gaffer's preferred pairing. But is there more to come from him? Again, you know, we're not that type of team that knocks those balls that I always talk about in between centre-backs and full-backs. And he breaks the play up and he keeps it simple. Look, again, I'll be brutally honest. I don't think he's as good as some of you think he is. He's no Ballon d'Or winner just yet. But he's a good player. Again, he's young, not been in England too long. I'm happy he's around it. And I hope he gets plenty of game time this season and the chance to progress and bring a little bit more to the team. Of course, he did score in the last game of last season away at Swansea. Sabs, for me, is the main man in that midfield. That's my thinking. I don't know if it's yours. I definitely think that's Neil Harris's thinking, but he's not getting any younger, is he? He played in a 4-4-2 under Harris before, where Sean Williams sat, and he bombed on to join in with Morrow and Gregors. Any excuse to use the picture of those two. But yeah, look, he's aged now. He's been away to Middlesbrough for a few years. He's come back. So now his legs potentially could be going. Although I feel still he's fit as fuck. But I was listening to a podcast earlier with a player. As you get older, you need to change your game or maybe change the way you make your runs, etc. And Savs has definitely done that, and he's turned into almost like a Dennis Wise type, getting his body in, winning free kicks, intelligent footballer, tough tackling again. Doesn't really weigh him with the goals anymore. We've not got anywhere near enough goals coming through the midfield, and that was why I was on the fence about Jason Malumbi. But yeah, look, buzzing that Savs is there again for me. He's a leader on the pitch. I think him and Coops are quite close, and that comes across as well on the pitch. You see them having a chat a lot of the time, and it's difficult to know where your captain should be on the pitch. I think it shouldn't really be a striker or a goalkeeper. I think you need someone in sort of a central area that can converse and give direction to everyone on the pitch. But I feel that with Savs there and Cooper there, they sort of get it done between them. And I'm buzzing he's still at the club, and he'll probably finish his career at Millwall. Moving on to Billy Mitchell again. He's been a Danny Mac, but before Danny Mac was the sequel. Billy Mitchell was the original hero, then turned villain when Danny Mac turned hero. But Billy's a brilliant young footballer. Again, I know personally, it's no secret that I know him personally and I know his family. I know that he's got more to offer going forward, but under Gary Rowett, he was completely restricted. Don't mind telling you that now that Gary Rowett's gone. But I think, as much as I love him, Bill, I think he has been Rowetted a bit. And I think where Rowett got that, coached it out of him. Don't keep going forward. Don't keep doing this. You sit here, you play left and right, and you protect the back three or whatever it was under Rowett. But for now, 5 central midfielders, Massey, Honeyman, Saville, Denor, and Mitchell. Is that enough to get us through a season? Yes. As I said, all of them are fit, rarely injured, although Billy is at the minute. Is that enough, though? Is that enough? No, I don't think it is. I think we need someone more, not aggressive. I think we need like a big, old, horrible, experienced, but not too old, someone who'll drive with the ball. But again, is that the players not playing the way they can because they're being told not to do that by the manager? I don't know. Obviously, you're going to play with a 10 more than likely. We may go 4-4-2 at points. But I think predominantly, especially looking at the lineup last Saturday, that the gaffer will start with a sort of a 10 in behind a 1. But it's not going to be Zian Fleming, as we know, because he is injured. So for me, I do feel we need someone in that position. Maybe, again, a bit of a benchmark signing put around in our pocket. But 1, I don't think we've got the funds to do that. 2, I don't think we definitely haven't got the time to do that because the games kick off in about 6 days' time. And 3, with a Malumbi thing, in the long run, of course, I'd love Malumbi. I say Savs is getting older. Malumbi's 23, 24, I think he is now. So a permanent one for him as well. Brilliant. But right here, right now, by the time we've got to get things right going into this season, I'm not sure he is the man. Having said that, I would love to see him back at the club. So, but look, we definitely need someone. Those 5, I'd say, I don't think you'll see Massey feature a lot once the season starts. I think he's been involved in friendlies for experience and around the squad and etc. etc. But for me, I think you'll see Honeyman play wide, which leaves Mitchell currently injured and Denor and Saville, and one of them is going to pick up a booking or a little injury. Saville is always getting his foot in again, getting knocked. So, yeah, for me, definitely not enough. We still need, and I didn't say this about a left back or a right back, although we could do a bolster in those areas, but we definitely need another central midfielder with more of an attacking threat that's a different type of player to the ones that we've already got. Right, so now we move on to the wingers. Now, when I wrote this down earlier, I sent it to my, like I said, goalkeepers, defenders, big blocks of players, wingers, 3 if you're not going to count Honeyman in that. Idemo Maku, Romain Esse, and Duncan Watmore. If you watch my full-time reaction on Saturday, I think you'll know where this is going with Watmore and Esse. Let's start with Watmore. I think Duncan Watmore has been absolutely Millwalled. I don't think he's very good anymore at all, unfortunately. He gets on the ball, he'll jink past 2, he'll look really dangerous. But what did my mate say to me the other day? I can't remember. It was a funny term. He said he's got grass prints on his nose or something because he does not get his fucking head up. He's got great tricks, but by the same token, he's got no football brain. And he'll run, he'll look exciting. I was saying it to my boy on Saturday. I was going, watch, you'll fuck it up. My boy quite likes Watmore, and I do as well. And I was buzzing when we signed him. I don't really know a lot about other teams and other players. That's why people say to me, why don't you do a championship prediction, league table for the season? Because I'd just be bullshitting you, because I don't really know other players and other teams. But I know our team inside out. But I did know Watmore, and I was buzzing when we signed him. And he was brilliant when he first came in. And he scored his debut, didn't he, at QPR. Back end of that season, I think he hit the post, scored one, and set up Bradshaw for another brilliant one away in a win at Blackpool that sent the Tangerines down to League One. But on Saturday, like I said to my boy, like, watch him. He'll fuck it up. Watch. He'll fuck it up. He'll do all the hard stuff, and his final ball, his final delivery is not good enough, or it's the wrong decision, or he'll fall over, or he'll get tackled. And he's not the man for me, especially when he plays on the left. We need people, and I'm going to get onto Langstaff and Bradshaw in a minute, and you go, oh, you love Bradshaw. Langstaff's going to go the same way as Bradshaw, and I don't think it's either of their faults. Right? What more? He's not going to get those crosses in that we need. I tell you, I want my back randomly, but I don't think we will, because he didn't get in under Neil Harris, really. And I didn't think it was overly brilliant for us. But Brooke Norton-Cuffy, if you remember, he put 2 crosses in across the box 2 weeks in a row, once against Norwich, once against, I think, QPR. Within 4 days of each other, we won both games, and Bradshaw got on the end of them because they're the perfect sort of crosses. You're not going to get that from Whitmore. Moving on to the other wing. This is going to sound harsh because I'm all for Millwall talent, Millwall youth. Give them a chance. Give them a chance. I don't know why Romain Esse is getting more of a chance than Idolo Mako. Again, look, I'm not at the training ground every day. I don't see what they see behind the scenes, behind the gates at Calmont Road. But Romain Esse is so raw. He almost reminds me of a young Ronaldo. Now, bear with me. I remember years and years ago, going back way 20 years probably, we was all around my mate's house on a Saturday night. We was having a takeaway. We was watching a match of the day, whatever. And Ronaldo played for Man United, and he was absolutely terrible. He'd just come in. He was raw. He was green. And my mate said, one of them, he's going to be better than David Beckham one day. And we all laughed and walked out and left him in the front room, and he got the arm. And it turns out he was right. Romain Esse is that raw and that green. He done things with the football on Saturday that I can't explain. He took a shot of his left foot and hit his right foot. The one in by the corner flag in the first half at the Coldblow Lane, I can't even say he was trying to clear the ball. He sort of got the ball, turned, and he sort of crossed it into the box for Southampton. He is not ready for Millwall Football Club at first team football. I'm sorry. I know a lot of you love him, and I want him to be brilliant, just like the rest of you do. He scored a great goal away at Middlesbrough on the opening day last season. I remember that well. I was there. But he's just not ready. He can't defend, which you'll need to do in a Neil Harris side. And he's just absolutely miles off it. Again, similar to Watmore, he'll do all the hard stuff and then fuck the easy bit up, or he'll overcomplicate the easy bit when he could just do whatever. And I just think he would really benefit from a loan. However, I do think he could be a fantastic player, and similar to the Ronaldo analogy I used a minute ago. He could, there is a player in there. We know there is, but he's not going to, we're not going to get out of him at the den. Not yet. Not in the team that we play in. And funny enough, moving on to Amaku, the likes of Amaku, the likes of Esse, I think if you stick them in a top 3 side in this division, I imagine Southampton only got it, or Leeds, for example, someone like Norwich. I know Norwich weren't top 3 last year, but a team is always knocking on the door there or thereabouts. If you stuck either of them in a team like that, they'd fly. But we can't have that at Millwall because we're not that sort of team. We're compact, we're rigid, we defend, we smash and grab, we hit teams on the break, we get on second balls, and that's not Esse's game. So I think he definitely benefit from a loan. Idolo Amaku is now, by the way, sorry, brothers, my favourite Millwall player. Shouldn't really have that at 44 years old. It's a bit weird, it's sort of kids thing. Who's your favourite Millwall player? But look, I'm getting into it now. The arms are back. Idolo Amaku is a real talent. It's written all over his face. If you can't see it, he's brilliant, okay? And he needs a run. He's never had that run. And I don't know why he didn't start on Saturday. I know it's only a friendly, but I think you can look at that team Saturday and say that's not going to be far off what he's going to play in the opening game. Listen, Gaffer, I love you, and I'll never question anything he does at Millwall, although I'm questioning it right now. Why is he not? If he's not in the starting 11 Saturday, then I don't know what people are looking at. Honestly, he's come on leaps and bounds. He played up front when we played on the telly against Preston. He got man of the match on Sky Sports, and he never played up front again. I know he's had the chop and change of managers as well. He did pick up a little niggle or a little injury as well, I think, but he's not really injury prone. He's hungry. He's raw. He hasn't been Millwalled yet. He gets the ball. He done it when he come on Saturday. He got the ball at his feet. What's the first thing he does? He looks sideways and backwards. No, fuck you, bang. I'm going at the defender. Again, no flicks and tricks, no overthinking it, no pep pop, no silly fucking old school. Get the ball, knock it past the defender who's already facing the wrong way and fucking run. And that's what he does. He gets in, he scored against Gillingham in that way, down the side of the bar. He scored away for us at Norwich last season. He scored some good goals for us. And he's a real threat, and he can be our main man. I really, really believe that. I believe that much in him. He has to play. But on that basis, covering that section, we've got 3 wingers. And if you want to include George Honeyman in that 4, who's not a winger, Maku, I'd like to see him playing a 10, but he's not going to do that, and he's probably going to be a winger. I would absolutely love on Saturday if a Maku started in a 10, because obviously Fleming is injured. It's not enough, is it? I don't really rate Watmore anymore. Maku, I love, but don't seem to play. SA's too green. Honeyman's not a winger. And if I've forgotten anyone, excuse me, I don't think I have. But we desperately, and we all know it. And Tony Warner rang me earlier, actually. I'm waiting to ring him back, but maybe he knows something. But we need a winger. It was after that Reading winger. That's what I was thinking. But they priced us out of that. I think they wanted something like £4 million for him. There's been other rumours. Of course, Jeb Wallace. I think I've started that rumour. I'd love Jeb back at the club. Let's have it right. He's exactly what we need. He can come back and be the main man. It'll be a loan probably, so we don't have to pay half of his wages. We need that exact type of player. Even like I said, Norton Cuffy gets them low crosses in. Because at the minute, the midfielders are winning it. They're distributing it left and right, like I said. The wingers are running up, either fucking it up, or if they're not, they're cutting back and passing it inside or back to a left back. And we're not getting up the pitch as a team. And that's half our problem. And it leads me on to the strikers. Let's start with one striker who isn't a striker. And like I said earlier about boxing people off, is Ian Fleming. He's not a striker, is he? I suppose you would say he is a striker. I wouldn't say. I would say in old school terms, he's an attacking midfielder. Injured for the start of the season. We thought he was going to leave the club. First season, absolutely brilliant. He was getting offered millions by Burnley and maybe potentially Lazio. There's all sorts of silly rumours going on. And then last season, don't forget, by the way, he still finished, I think, I could be made to look silly on this, but I'm pretty sure he finished our top scorer last season. So you can't take that away from him, but he looks disinterested, or is he low on confidence? So we could be being harsh saying he's disinterested. But for me, he did spend time out wide left, didn't he? I think could have been under Edwards, I think. I can't remember now, but he's a 10. And with him and Bradshaw, it worked. And I always say it works. It worked 2 years ago. People have moved on. People have got older. The league's got stronger and changed the way football's played. So would that work again? No, I don't think it would. Would I replace Fleming with someone different in a 10? Yes, I absolutely would. Idemo Maku, there's your man. No one else. Get him in that 10. It will do wonders for us. But Fleming as the only cam, really, again, it's not really enough, is it? Because this disjointment, this link that's missing between the midfield and the strikers, while we're always so deep and we don't seem to create many chances. I don't think we scored in our last 2 friendly games, one against Colchester, which was a bit of a secret for some reason behind closed doors. We didn't score enough goals in pre-season. We don't score enough goals in general. So for me, no, Fleming's not enough. Just as the only option out of 10, especially as at the minute, he's injured. I think if Fleming isn't available, I don't think that the gaffer will go, well, I'll put Watmore in there. Well, I'll put Maku in there. I think he'll go what he did on Saturday. Well, we'll go Honeyman in front, and it'll be even more defensive because Honeyman, because he's hardworking and wants to get stuck in, he'll naturally track back. Or we'll go 4-4-2. So looking at it, we absolutely, so far, goalkeepers, we're fine. Full-backs we'll have to deal with. Centre-backs, we're fine. Definitely need something more in the centre of midfield to maybe link that to Fleming or whoever's in that 10, then on to the forwards. Wingers, we're massively light. We need 2 wingers, 1 central midfielder, and I'm still not happy with Fleming being the only 10. So in my opinion, at that point, we still need 3, potentially 4 new players in to be competitive in this division. I always think we'll survive under Harris. Even if no one comes in, I don't think we'll go down. Absolutely not. There's teams, Oxford, newly promoted, Pompey will find it difficult, make no mistake. So I still think we'll be okay, and I think our tenaciousness and our Millwallness and our Neil Harrisness will always get us through. You saw that at the back end of last season, and hopefully we can continue to ride that wave. But strikers, we've got 3 strikers. Kevin Nisbet, I remember when he signed again, I was excited looking at his goal record, opening game away again last season at Middlesbrough. Thought he was great, thought he was really good, had great movement. He just didn't finish the final ball, but he was there. And as a striker, if you're getting in positions, eventually, you know, I think it was Alan Shearer once said, it's not if your striker's not scoring, it's not if he's getting in the positions to take those chances and have a shot. And Nisbet was doing that. But he got injured, didn't he, a couple of times last season. I think he got injured at the open day they do for the kids and the families. And I just think that one is very hard to transition from Scottish football to English football. And I'll be honest, I think if you go back over my videos, I'm not definitely sure. I thought he would do it because his goal scoring record was that good in Scotland that I thought he would do it. But he hasn't done it. And I think the reason we didn't sign him the first time and then we signed him the second time because of the injury, I still think that's there. I don't really think he's lazy. I don't think he can get about. And I think he knows that. And he's trying to, like I said earlier, when you get older and maybe a couple of niggling injuries, you've got to try and manage that. And I think I think he's done. I think his knee or whatever it is fucked and he can't get about. He's trying to manage that. Interestingly, he looks like he's bulked right up over the summer. So maybe he's been putting the work in. Of course, there was the disciplinary problems at the back end of the last season. Him and Obafemi, they wasn't connected, but both not turning up, both playing games. I mean, we're playing like mind games with the manager fucking around, not playing games. We would have rather that. But yeah, I just think that, again, maybe we're quick to jump on people like that. But maybe it's done his head in. Maybe he knows about that injury. Maybe it's his confidence. Maybe it hasn't gone, well, it definitely hasn't gone as well as he would have liked at Millwall. So that can all play a part. And I'm sure you've all been there. I was there for 19 years, dreading getting up and going to work in the morning. Why am I doing this? I cannot stand it. And maybe that's the stage you got to. People saying, obviously, Neil Harris is back, can bring a striker out in him. But for me, he's going to be third choice unless we get someone else in. And he's not going to be a very good third choice. I think his time at Millwall's done. It hasn't worked out for him, and probably a move back to Scotland will be best for him. Tom Bradshaw, moving on to the Bradleys. You know I love him. Maybe I'm a bit biased towards him. It's no reason other than he scores goals. If you give him the chances and he gets given the chance, he scores goals. Simple as that. We know it works. Emma Fleming did work 2 years ago, like I said. Didn't score as many last season, but he didn't start the season as first choice, did he? Because Nisbet did, and I couldn't understand at that point why Gary Rowett changed what was working. 32 goals between them, and then he brings in Nisbet, drops Bradshaw out, sticks Fleming out on the left wing. That was strange for me, but Rowett scored anyway. No worries about that. I'm more than pleased about that one. But Bradshaw, look, he's 32 years old now. There was the talk of him potentially going to Wrexham. He's not getting any younger, brothers. Let's be honest. He looks as fit as he's ever been. But, strikers in our side, just listen back to what I've just said over the course of this 40-minute video. Midfielders, they get the ball, they put it sideways. The wingers, they run up the line, they fuck it up, or they cut back and play it short. So we've got nowhere near enough many bodies committed up the pitch and giving our strikers opportunities to score goals. I would love to see Langstaff come of age and Bradshaw sort of be back up to him. He comes off the bench and scores goals. Bradshaw, we've seen that before. He always nicks a goal for us at vital times, and he could be a mentor to Langstaff because, as we know, Bradshaw's not going to be around forever. Moving on to Macaulay. Langstaff, again, I was absolutely buzzing when he joined. 41 goals in 41 games, not one of them penalties in his first season at Notts County. Second season in League Two after promotion, 26 goals, 27 years old, goal scorer, out-and-out goal scorer. I'm hearing, again, I've not seen loads of him, that he is very industrious. He's very Bradshaw-like. He'll do the hard work and the dirty work as well as sticking the ball in the net. He's hardly touched the ball since he's been at the club. However, again, reverting back to what I've just said about Bradshaw, I absolutely don't blame Langstaff. Has anyone put a ball in for him? In and around a goal and gone and finish that off for us, mate? No, they haven't. Because we're too deep. We're slightly negative, not the league hasn't started yet, so I'm not going to fucking start blowing a gasket over it, right? But in pre-season and from what I've seen, we go up, we come back, we stay compact, we lose the ball. And Langstaff's not had any opportunity, not one that I can remember in pre-season, to actually have a shot at goal. I'm sure if he gets the opportunities, he will do that. And I think, as I said before, I think in videos, if you're a striker, I think you can play up a lot higher, even if you're not as good as an all-round player. Because I think, I used to play with a geezer years ago. When I was at VCD, I was only just starting men's football. They had a geezer called Dean Bowie up front, right? And he scored fucking loads of goals. Brilliant non-league goal scorer. At this point, VCD were in like the Bass Brewers Kent League, which is like 2 below the National League South, 3 below, something like that. And he went, I would score 25 goals for Man United a season. He was that confident. He went, because I just get the service. So it's not the fact that Langstaff hasn't touched the ball, he's shit, or Bradshaw don't score enough goals because he's shit. They don't get the service, and we need to rectify that. So if Langstaff fires, which is going to be massive for us, with Bradshaw as his backup and then Nisbet third wheeling in the background doing bits on the bench, then I don't feel we're massively light up front. Again, the only issue I've got is taking Nisbet out of the equation is that Bradshaw and Langstaff, similar build, similar type of player. And as we know, the gaffer, 4-4-2, loves a big man. Matt Smith is available, by the way. I just feel that to give us a different option up front, I would like to see us sign a big man. We need to sign a big man. Maybe a big man that could also play on a 10, but that's, I don't know. But right here, right now, do we have enough strikers? It's a difficult one because if Langstaff fires, yes, with Bradshaw competing with him and them two pushing each other and scoring goals. If Langstaff doesn't fire, and we haven't got the hindsight of that yet, then no. But regardless if he does fire anyway, I still would like to see us bring in a big fucking lump, a big target. Now, we know it's going to work with Millwall. We know it's definitely going to work under Neil Harris. So, squad, what do we need? We need a big man up front. Okay, 100%. One player we need is a big man up front. We need two wingers, without doubt, and we need something else in the midfield, more creativity, a different type of player than we've got. So that's 4 players we need, in my opinion, to be competitive and be in and around the top 10 and the right end of things where we need this season. I'd also like to see us, depending on how long Murray Wallace, that's how bad things are, depending on how long I'm relying on Murray Wallace to come back. I don't know. If Murray Wallace comes back, he'll be deputy to Brian, but Matt Lamar will be there as well. And then Danny Mack can also do the right back slot. But yeah, look, for me, big striker, 2 wingers, 1 central midfielder, and I'm not overly happy that Fleming's the only 10. If we get the big striker, then I think you could see the 10 done away with and us go back to a Neil Harris classic in 4-4-2. And so that's your lot. What is fucking hell? I do waffle on 45 minutes. It might get cut down a little bit in the edit, but I think that's pretty clean. That's what I feel about this coming season. If we get what we need or anything near it, I think we'll be top 10. If we don't, I still think we'll survive, but we're looking at potentially 12th to 16th with a score we got. Neil Harris will always get us through. Don't worry about that. Is that all business attended to? No, it isn't. Right, so in association with, should I say, My Guava, Millwall's new sponsor, they have given me 8 tickets to give away for this Saturday against Watford. You have to go onto my Instagram page or our Instagram page, TV Lions, and follow the instructions on our 2 posts I put on there today. I was going to say our most recent 2 posts, but I'm about to post this video. So go on there, Lions TV Instagrams, TV Lions, and I'm giving away 8 tickets. 4 people will win a set of tickets. So do that. And also, Neil Harris Mule, I think it's running at the bottom of the screen as well. The print, there is 5 left, and he's not going to make it anymore. I think I've overswamped him. I've said, he went, I'll make a few. I went, we need about 50. And he went, oh. So, yeah, bless him. So there's 5 left. The link's in the description as well. But let me know what you think about that video. Am I right? Hopefully. Am I wrong? I'm sure a lot of you think I will. And I'll be back hopefully tomorrow if we sign someone. If not, definitely for a preview on Wednesday for the members. Public on YouTube Thursday. And we're also bringing back the score predictions from the other boys at Lions TV as well this season, amongst lots of other bits I've got planned. And we'll be live streaming direct from SE16 on Saturday. Please subscribe to Lions TV. Come on, you Lions.